Welcome to Varsity Voices, the Girls Basketball Tournament Edition. I'm here with my colleague Jeff DiVeronica, and we are here to do a couple of funny things here. We're going to put on our
Funny?
Yeah.
My shirt's funny. I got my bracket shirt on.
We're going to put on our Swami hats, put our reputations on the line, and try and predict the crazy game of basketball here in Section 5.
We're going to do the AA bracket right here. It's the defending champ is Penfield. Mm-hmm. They're not the favorite here by any means. Penfield comes in as the number 2 seed. Mercy is the number 1 seed. And I think certainly the team to beat, which every number 1 seed pretty much is, right?
Yeah.
But they've been the best team all season long. They've got a talented group. I was just at the Section 5 basketball luncheon, mm-hmm. and not only were they the top seed, but their coach, Tom Basie, was the Coach of the Year in Class AA, and I think, well, I'll tell you about the forecast in a minute. So why don't we listen to Coach Basie and one of the top players for the Monarchs.
But then, our key is going to be the other players that are coming in. How Maggie McDonough and Alex Hetrick run the point, how Emily Tabone and Emily McDonough are sharpshooters, if they're hitting a few threes during the game to open up, the paint for the big players. So I think it's going to be a total team effort to be successful.
I think it's the funnest rivalry I've been a part of. I mean, they have great talents, we have great talents, and they have young talents, and we have older talents. And I think that with more experience, I think that we might have the upper hand because of that. But I think that they have a lot of talent. So when you put those two together, I mean, you're going to have a great matchup every single time.
Sometimes the young kids are fearless, right? They don't know what they're doing. Is that dangerous?
I think that they can use that to their advantage. Mariana, Sanaya, they play fearlessly because they have to. Those are the leaders on the team. They don't have any older leadership like we do.
How much fun has the rivalry become between the two schools?
It's become a lot of fun. It's really a lot of fun. It's me and Tom know each other. Our girls know each other. They play all summer against each other and with each other. So it's a true rivalry, but we welcome it.
Well, Mercy's huge, and they're very good. Their guards are very athletic, and they have 3 big kids who are very good players. Kearney shoots the ball incredibly well. Kearney can hit 15 to 23s on you in a given game. So even if you have a lead on Kearney, you can't relax for a second. And they say these kids are young, but these kids have played a ton of basketball. So they might be chronologically 13 years old, but they played more basketball than most 20-year-olds. And so I don't buy into that. I think they're an outstanding team. Both teams are very well coached. So we're going to do our thing and throw the ball up. And if we do what we need to do, we'll be successful.
Jeff, let's start with the 8-9 matchup with 2 teams that are just about 500.
Well, it's Hilton, which was runner-up last year to Penfield, and it's a much different team. They're only 9-11 going into this tournament, and they've lost 5 straight. Now they're playing a Schrader team that I think it's 63-41 was the earlier matchup. Schrader lost to Hilton in this one, so I'm going to have to go with Hilton here. I'm going with a team that's lost 5 straight to win this opening game. So I think it's Hilton going on. They're going to face Mercy in the next round.
The next game we got Webster Thomas versus Victor. A Webster Thomas team that's kind of done some things behind the scenes a little bit.
Yeah, they've really kind of crept up here. They've won 11 straight games. They've won their first Section 5, Monroe County title since 1982. Jason Charno done a nice job with them. Victor has won 2 straight. They've had a tough season. And, you got to go with Thomas here. Kelly Weeks, 12 points a game. Miranda Lynch, 10 points a game. I think the Titans advance in this one.
Number 7, Gates Chile, looks like it's on its way back up.
Yeah, they've had, been better than people thought they'd be. 12-8 on the season. This is a rematch. Gates won the first matchup with Churchville Chile, 41-33 about a month ago. Half of the losses for the Spartans are to Penfield and Fairport, high seeds here. So I like Gates in this one to move on. Dave Perro has done a really nice job with the Spartans this year.
Number 6, Kearney. Why is their seed so low?
Yeah, they play a tough schedule, right? So they don't play a lot of local teams and want to play a good private school. So they're only 15-5, which is still solid, but that's why they're a 6 seed. And unfortunately, Rush Henrietta is their first victim here in this tournament. The Kings have won 9 out of 11. and they're going to make it 10 out of 12 against Rush Henrietta. Apologies to the Comets, but they're just not at the same class as Kearney.
So according to your bracket, you have this resurgent Webster Thomas team facing Fairport in the quarterfinals?
I do, and the Red Raiders won this matchup earlier in the year, December 13th. They won by 13 points, 44-31. Good balance from the Red Raiders. They're a senior-dominated team. Caroline White, congratulations to her, nominated for Miss Basketball.
She's been there forever.
Along with Annabelle Hines. Yeah, I think this is her 5th year on the varsity. But Hannah Miller's solid, Meg Yawman's solid. They got another good player in Zoe Janes. I think history is going to repeat itself here, and Thomas is going to lose to Fairport in this one. I'll be surprised if this is a single-digit game. I like Fairport.
Then we move on to one of the better girls basketball rivalries since I've been in this job.
Absolutely, but the difference is these teams used to play for championships, and now this is going to be a quarterfinal. It's going to be Penfield against Gates Chili. The Patriots have a good senior leader in Michaela Wilson. She can take over a game at times. A really good freshman guard, Bailey Teal, and a sophomore, Bree Moxley. Now, these three were very good contributors last year, solid players. Michaela Wilson actually almost carried Fairport into the state semifinals. They lost in the quarterfinals. I think she's too much. Interesting, this will be the third matchup this season. Penfield barely got by Gates Chili. I think it was 3 points, 42-39 on January 6th. Fast forward to February 10th, not a week ago. It was 73-35 Patriots. So tough to pick against Mark Vogt's team here, and I think Penfield advances to the semifinals again.
That means Hilton, Lucky Hilton, they get the number one seed.
I mean, it could be Hilton or Schrader, but I know that the team moving on here is going to be Mercy. It'll be a Mercy Fairport semifinal on one side of the bracket. Unfortunately, and you wrote about this team, Edison Tech.
Yeah.
They're the 3 seed. They have a tough draw here. I think they could have beaten a potential county team here like a Penfield, certainly a Gates, maybe a Fairport or a Thomas. I don't think they can beat Kearney. What can you tell us, though? It's been a great season, though, for Edison.
A team with a lot of spirit, led by Denisha Fair, Diasia Fair, I should say.
Yeah.
And he basically...
One of the best scorers from what I've heard in Section 5.
Absolutely. I watched her play. It looks like everyone else is playing in slow motion. She gets people into the right spots where they can do what they do for the team. I would have really liked to have seen what they could have done against someone else.
Yeah, I think they could have won. I think they could have made it a semifinal. I think they could have made the final if they had the right draw. I think they could have beat a Fairport. I think they could have beat a Penfield. Unfortunately, I don't think they could beat Kearney, and I don't think they can beat Mercy either. So I think it's going to be a Mercy Fairport semifinal on one side, and I think it's going to be Penfield against Kearney. And then it gets a little tougher to forecast. I think the easier of those 2 semifinal games to forecast, I think Mercy beats Fairport. I think Fairport's had a great season. These seniors, I tell you what, they're going to go down swinging against Mercy, but I just think the Monarchs with Breed Love and Katie Titus and the size with Ruth Kong, I think it's going to be too tough for Caroline White to get anything done in the paint.
Yeah.
And I think Mercy moves on to the final there.
That's a lot of rebounds you'll be able to put back up and erase some mistakes if you're Mercy.
Yeah, the other side, Penfield and Kearney. I mean, I think Penfield welcomes the fact to be the hunter and not the hunted here. That being said, these Kearney girls are fearless. I think they're really good. They can score. They can get at you defensively. This could be a game that will be surprisingly low score, I think, because I think both teams play good defense.
Well, I mean, isn't that something that would favor Penfield because that's the traditional Penfield way?
It would, but they have to find a way. Sanaya Wilson's she's gonna. If her and Michaela Wilson play to a standoff, I like the supporting cast of Kearney better. Allure Simmons can get out and do damage in the open floor. Mariana Freeman, I think, can literally take over a game. She's their top scorer now. She's an 8th grader. So I'm going to favor the Kings here. I think it's going to be Mercy Kearney, 3rd year in a row, playing for a championship. First time at the top level. So
put you on the spot. What if
why not? The whole thing's been on the spot, right?
What if Kearney runs into foul trouble? How deep are they?
Could be an issue. And again, inexperience could be an issue. I tend to think that the young kids in these situations tend to play above their head because they know they're not expected to win, right? I mean, now if it's Kearney and Mercy in the final, or Kearney gets into the heat here at the end with Penfield, certainly in the final, Mercy to me now has the pressure on it because it's the champion, right?
Right.
2 years ago it was Kearney with the champion, and last year Mercy had that underdog role going against Kearney in the final, and Mercy won. Now I think the pressure now shifts to the Monarchs, and I think if it is a tight game, I'll roll the dice with the kids, with the young kids that have never been there before, because they have a tendency not to tense up. So if it is Kearney and Mercy,
there's no fear factor either between
exactly.
The team,
right? But Mercy's handled Kearney twice this year.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to forecast the champion, I'm going to go with the Monarchs. I think it's going to be a heck of a game. I certainly would not be surprised if the Kearney kids get this thing done. I mean, they're like a JV team when you consider their age. Joke with Kevin Shepard at the luncheon today. You take away a few of their players, they could be a junior high team. They're that young. But I think Mercy has too much size-wise. They've won twice already. That's got to factor a little bit mentally into the Kearney psyche that they've beaten us twice already this year. So I'm going to go with the Mercy Monarchs will march on in AA and go back to the state tournament. So there you go. There's your bulletin board fodder. I don't know how you can put this on a bulletin board. What are you going to do, get your video or your iPad and turn it onto the bulletin board? But so that's what I think it's Mercy's going to win this thing again.
All right, there you have it. Jeff sticks his neck out on the line, and we'll move on to the A classifications next.